Where is the charger?
At the phone.
I want
An apple pie. I want to go. The only place that I know that has apple pie is McDonald's. Oh my God. It's all dry.
I've been wiping my nose.
Nose a lot. You know, you wipe your nose and you get the little, it gets dry. I'm like, I don't want y'all to see like little dry on my nose and think she's a mocosa.
You know what I'm saying?
Hopefully this bitch is on. Is this bitch recorded? I don't like the way I pulled out of there like that. I feel like it wasn't good. It wasn't a good pull out, you know? The pull out method wasn't good. Girl. People are mad in the comments once again, girl. Y'all be offended by what somebody says about a celebrity as if it's not so much the celebrity. I think that's what a lot of people are failing to realize. We are Ashanti, the same exact dynamics between Ashanti and Nelly are what a lot of women go through. There's so many groups of women. That's the main reason why you can't believe that all women want the same thing. A lot of you believe that all women want to get married. Some women don't want to get married. Some women don't see the value in that. They see the value in having a baby. They want to be a mother. They see a value in motherhood. They don't see the value in wifery. Is that what it's called? Wifery? They don't see what is the value of being somebody's wife? Y'all tell me. I mean, I guess it really honestly depends on who the partner is. Because if the partner ain't shit, where's the value? It's not valuable. And then also your value is determined on how somebody else is treating you. And then you have your community who tells you that I don't know, like there are just some people who are, and it's so funny in terms of culturally, this traditional idea has never been honestly a tradition. Yes, there were married people who had children and stayed married for a long time, but traditionally and culturally, that's not a tradition that aligns with especially black Americans. That don't, girl, this book is over 50 years old. You wait until I read you an excerpt out of this book. If you haven't gone to my Twitter page, I read an excerpt out of this book on my Twitter page where it talks about the state of black people and why black women find it hard to find good partners. This is 50 years old. 50. 1972. Before I came to the earth, before a lot of you came to the earth. According to my analytics, a lot of you, this book was out before you even were thought of, honey. And girl, you wait until I read this part to you. This has been the story. Y'all are trying to align traditions that y'all didn't even participate in mass. How are you trying to subject somebody to a cultural tradition that doesn't fall on this particular group of people? Where are you going? I'm about to say, you are trying to enforce traditional, like when you use, like we live in a state of the world today where children, a lot of children, I think 1 in 4 children are not in the home with their father. This idea that a woman must be attached to a man in order to raise a child, when you like I said in the other video, you completely gloss over the fact that what you're really wanting is the father to have a relationship with the child. I don't know. But if you have an opinion on this, I feel like there are women who want to be married. There are women who follow an idea that they want to be what, marry before you carry. There's some women who are choosing solo parenthood and have found a man they want to have a baby with, i.e. Tamar, meaning that I'm going to raise this child with this other person, but I'm not going to get married to this other person. When you're like, so why would you have a baby and not get married? Why wouldn't you? Do you guys see the marriage statistics? Are y'all paying attention? Like I asked you today. You really take a chance and a risk at partnering with these people. You take a chance and a risk. You cannot, like I said, girl, something about Tamar and JR on the internet. He talking about, I want to love this woman forever. And then y'all stupid asses is sitting motherfucking Daffy Duck, Donald Duck looking motherfuckers, just sitting there waiting for these niggas to come pick you. Tamar, pick Misha Braxton. I'm so tired of you and these men. I'm tired of you and these men, girl. I'm so tired of you on this carousel looking for love in all the fucking wrong places. Put some goddamn mirrors in your house, girl. Y'all want this love from a man, and there's some people online who said that they're incapable of it. He said that he hurt her intentionally. What? You're not going to be able to tell the world that you hurt me intentionally and then we booed up the next week. That's a no. That's a severe lack of self-esteem. A severe lack of self-esteem. Where I feel like there's something clinically wrong, and where you need to actually sit in front of a mental health professional and find out why you would go back to a man who admitted to the community that he intentionally hurt you. Then what do you? And that's where I think that's where a lot of women get really screwed up. It's like, because I'm critiquing the adult male and how they show up in intimate relationships, y'all don't want to listen to that, even though the reality is telling you one thing. You want me to feed you a fantasy. You don't want me to feed you a fantasy. You can't expect me to feed you a fantasy. But you want everybody to feed and eat off this fantasy where you're in love with the idea of. I remember when I realized that. I have a journal where I said, the reason why you're in these types of relationships is because you are really unavailable. And I was like talking to myself, you're not available for these type of relationships. I've never felt like it didn't feel right, even though I was participating in a system and I kept participating, trying to participate, and it never felt right. Not to the point where I wanted to be with women. It was the point where I just didn't feel right and be comfortable in relationships with these men. Like, no. And then you try to do it and you're like, girl, I can't do this. How long? Y'all be doing this for years and years and years? Oh my God. I couldn't do it. I was not Virgo, and Virgo meaning a woman within herself. Not a virgin, a woman within herself, a woman with no man next to her. In addition to other things that I embody that have just told me the story all along is, girl, you are participating in, as you watch people, you can ask anybody that's known me for any length of time and they will tell you I've always criticized men. Always, 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 always. Every man my mom would be in relationship with, I'd be like, no, he ain't shit, he ain't shit, he ain't shit, he ain't shit. And guess what? Guess what the nigga turned out to be? Ain't shit. Ain't shit. Ain't shit. You were right. No, I wasn't right. That's just how they are. They ain't shit. You find one, and y'all looking for it like, oh, you can find, you could. It's like what Obama sold y'all on, hope in a prayer. Goddamn John Bon Jovi. That's a wing and a prayer, huh? No, that's All-American Hero. What's living on a prayer? Take my hand, we'll make it, I swear. Oh, living on a prayer, girl. Living on a goddamn fantasy and building foundations on fantastical ideologies that were built in a delusion of patriarchy. Y'all have put the value in, y'all are putting the value in the wrong place. And that's by design. That is literally by design. I want an apple pie. That's literally by design. Where can I get an apple pie from? Do they have apple turnovers at, what time is it? Popeyes ain't open. It's 10 o'clock. It's only 10 o'clock in the morning. I wonder if whatchamacallit has apple pies. It says it's embarrassing because we continuously see, no matter how successful, educated, and Black women are, they'll still have a baby mama mentality. Hallie, Kiki, Ashanti, Rihanna, Kim Porter. And I think there's I honestly believe that there's a cross wiring. While you actively know that these niggas ain't shit, you will still get upset with a woman for not partnering with the man, but having a baby with the man. You're putting the value on the marriage when statistics show that there's not a sustainable. It's not sustainable for half of the people. Okay, half of the people who remain married, you gotta poll them, right? Because the people who are getting the divorce, that's like half of the people, right? But then the people who remain in the marriage, that's not to say that the marriage is healthy and happy. You understand what I'm saying? And I feel like when you're like, oh, you have this baby mama mentality where you're like shaming the woman for not being connected legally to the man. And I feel like you guys are getting you're getting it mixed up. It's like, do you honestly but truly believe, while you're shaming this woman for being a quote baby mama, do you truly believe that there's value in the man that she's having a baby with, to the point where you want her to actually tie herself to him legally? No, you know that you don't, I think it's an automatic response to shame a woman for not having a man marry her before she has a baby with him. And these are values you are trying to enforce that has never been in mass the value system for these group of men as they partner with you group of women. You value marriage more than they do. And in a system of patriarchy, while they make you believe that it's valuable, they don't promote it in the same way to men. So you're trying to get men to see the value in marriage. They don't. And other women, and that's why they use it as an insult. You can't insult a woman with marriage or being attached to a man if she doesn't put value in the man that you put value in. If I don't put you, I'm going to use a stone, like a gemstone. You have a gemstone and you say the value of this gemstone. No, you have a house and you say the value of my house is $1 million. And I say, you know what? I don't think your house is that valuable. So I'm not going to think that if I don't get it from you, or if I'm unable to attain it, I don't see it as a loss, because I don't see it as valuable as you think it is. You think it's valuable. You see the value in it. I don't see the value in it. I don't see, like somebody who steals cars. We don't see the value in Fords. We see the value in Hyundais. I don't see the value in Hyundai, so I'm not going to be mad if you be like, oh. Or I'm not going to even want to buy the parts from you because I don't see the value in the Hyundais if I was a chop shop owner. You understand? I'm just trying to use some analogy so you understand that there are groups of women who value something that other groups of women don't value. And when you try to throw it in a woman's face or try to insult her by saying, you don't have this thing that I deem valuable, bitch, I don't think it's valuable. You think it's valuable. You think it's valuable, even though you know that half of the people can't sustain it, right? Half of you are partnering with men beneath you. Half of these men are what are the statistics in IPV? What are the statistics with women who are pregnant and end up dead? And you don't have to end up dead, or even in IPV. You could actually be like, I don't want to be with this person anymore. You can't shame a person with something that you think is valuable and they don't, is what I'm trying to say. So while you sound bitter, you think that a woman, you think every single woman wants a man. Y'all even think lesbians want men. Oh, you ain't even been dick down right. You ain't had no dick like mine. I bet you if you had some dick like mine, you'd stop having your face in between women's legs. They truly believe all you need to fix your life is some penis. Gobbling and swallowing, choking. So much so, a woman was in the comments, you go around from every comment section bashing men. Her cape choking her to death. Choking her so much that I thought the comment was from a motherfucking man. That damn cape is choking you so much you sounding like a nigga, bitch. You sound like a motherfucking man. And the value that y'all put in it so much to where you shame women. That's what Amani was doing. Oh, you're okay with being a baby mama, honey. I would rather be the mother of a child than a wife of one of these motherfucking niggas. And that's where y'all got the game fucked up. Y'all putting value in being married. The numbers are telling you that it's not as valuable as you think it is. The value that you're putting in these men is not. It's coming up short. You go in and get it appraised and it's coming up short. You thought you had a goddamn diamond, girl, and you got a piece of glass. And then y'all get mad when women warn women because you want other people to believe. Part of your work that you do in a patriarchy when you're upholding these systems is to get other people to join in. Come over here and join in with us. Come in and join with us. We can all be in delusion together. But the delusion on average only lasts for a short amount of time. Honestly, it probably lasts shorter. It's going to probably be shorter and shorter as the years go by. And as these younger women understand the value that my aunties and my older cousins put in getting married, there's no real value in that. From my perspective, yes, you may see the value in it. You can't, girl. You got you a what kind of car you got? You think it's valuable, and you like, I got this kind of car. I don't see the value in that car, girl. You can't make me jealous or mad or whatever about whatever when I don't see the value, and that's just what it is. What is he doing? Is he peeing? Oh no, he's just standing there. He's thinking it was weird, y'all. I thought he was peeing. Alright, so I want to read you from this book. I told you I said I want to read this book to you. This is called Black Rituals by Sterling Plum. And this is a book that has some poems in it. He's a poet, but he's also talking about his experience as a black man in society. And you know, he first talks about, gives his history or whatever, but he starts talking about women and how he was raised by women. He gives a poem to women. He talks about here he goes right here. He talks about even, you know, colorism, a little bit about, just very, very quick about colorism. He said, later, as I entered my teens and approached manhood, I found black women more beautiful and elusive at times. My earliest criteria for black beauty centered around how the woman was shaped and how she carried herself. In the South, the lighter-skinned black women seemed either to feel they were special or they were made to feel special. They attracted boys like bugs lured by bright lights on dark nights. In Mississippi, there was also a sweet sassiness in darker sisters, which made them sing the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, thus fascinating me. My first love in life was love for black women. Segregation forced me to mature in a black culture where black women held places as women. I am grateful for the fact that my understanding of black psychology comes from my upbringing. You experience the economic reality of class when you realize that the only reason power, autonomy, and privileges are denied you are because of your economic status. This fact of economic class forces the black man into a bind with respect to his woman because he cannot be sure of his future. It is taken out of his hands. He may be killed in an illegal war. He may have to work to support his fatherless family. He may not be able to go to college, or he may have to wait 10 years to, quote, get a start. This economic reality of the black man as a poor provider is contingent upon the racist, capitalistic, and imperialistic nature of this society. And this inhumane rigidity is even harsher for the black woman because it prevents her from having a repertoire of eligible choices as possible marital mates. This book was written in 1972, all right? It says the consequences of this are that very few young black people can get married and begin contributing in an organized and relevant manner to the black community. Most young black people must work very hard and search for suitable mates. But despite these handicaps, the black woman has retained her humanness and has played a very monumental role in maintaining the black race. He wants to correlate religion and rituals in religion that may or may not help young people growing into adulthood deal with the real world. So he says here, let me make sure. The priests were men who knew when to plant crops, when to hunt game, when to set sails upon seas, when the rains came, what herbs for the snake bites, what herbs for sickness that they learned. They learned all of that from women. Be very clear. And they also knew why certain customs were obeyed and what consequences would be if they were not obeyed. When the Europeans raped Africa, carrying off the people like buzzards do to carcasses, and inhumed them in a human hell, sometimes euphemistically referred to as slavery, the black man found himself among a people who didn't believe in anything except exploiting, destroying, dominating. Indeed, the human black man found himself amid beings who acted inhuman. But what is crucial to any understanding of black rituals and their subsequent survival in the outhouse of the West is that there are ways which allow black people to live in harmony with nature, whereas European religions, Catholicism, Protestantism, Judaism, are the obedient servants of materialistic thinking, which means that man tries to rationally control nature, mother, which further means, of course, the man's relationship with nature is one of conflict and disharmony. Maybe it is because of the basic conflict of disharmonious relationship with nature that Europeans are cursed with the lack of rhythm and spontaneity. But anyway, I maintain that black religion survived slavery. That is, the essentially spiritual worldview survived with man obeying the laws of nature. This does not mean that man is powerless to initiate action, but just that he has a place in the universe. What I'm really driving at is that the transplanting of millions of Africans into the West was an environmental switch, but there wasn't a simultaneous cosmological or worldview adjustment. The black man didn't adopt materialistic thinking. I put a note and says, oh yes he does. So this was written 50 years ago, okay? It says the black man didn't adopt materialistic thinking as a mode of defining his world. Society in Africa was communal and nature, mother, was respected. But the West is competitive, aggressive, capitalistic, and nothing is sacrosanct. The only thing that is respected in the West is organized power, the ability to back up your position with dollars, people, and force if necessary. People who achieve in the West are doers, concerned primarily with how they can manipulate the environment and other people to their best advantage, and it matters not how they do it as long as they can do it in a practical manner. The attitude which leads to success in the West is the same attitude which makes evil so profuse. There is no mortality because the only criteria of good or bad is whether or not the individual succeeds. It says preachers emerge as mediators between the slaves and the God that was delivered to them. A Messiah would come to deliver them, but they had to obey his messengers and preachers. Hold on. The migration from the farm to factory destroyed many functional relationships between black preachers as mediators for the black man before some vast spiritual power who controls everything, because the ethics of urban jungles demand that individuals fight for rewards of survival like real animals in real jungles. This vicious system of survival necessitates that each group stick together against other groups, and each group look out only for the members of its own group. Also, because the city is so large, the leaders of the group must try to control the factors in which affect their groups. I maintain that black preachers were notoriously lacking in the ability to adapt their worldview from a situation where they were mediators to a situation where mediators were not needed, but initiators were needed instead. The black man should have been mastering technology, and the preachers should have been using the churches as catalysts for such in black people. But what happened is the black preachers continued in roles of mediators. not before some vast spiritual power, but before organized political, economical, and cultural white power, where they voiced the aspirations of black people. The groups whom the black preachers were beseeching understood only organized powers and were thus able to plan the kinds of social changes which destroyed the traditional power black preachers had over their people. For example, the whole idea of social welfare destroyed the traditional role of the black church as provider for the needy and made black people dependent upon those who doled out relief. The sad situation whereby black people depend on the wretched rulers of political parties for their essential human needs and not upon the black church is the crux of the black powerlessness, whether it be psychological or behavioral. The fact is, black people are dependent upon a church which interprets the universe and their place in it for them, but at the same time is unable to provide for them. In other words, black people should be more assertive, acquisitive, and active in their relationship with their environment. And the preachers should be aiding them by helping them adopt the attitudes which will allow them to conquer technology rather than keep them locked away in a belief system relevant only in communal and human societies. The weakness of black people is the weakness of their belief in themselves to control their environment, including the clouds, rivers, and flights of objects in space. The black man must learn attitudes which will allow him to deal with the world that must be defined in material terms if you are to control it. I'm not advocating a material outlook on life solely, but stating that the problem black people have is their inability to use material solutions where they are called for and spiritual solutions where they are applicable. The cities transformed black preachers into deliverers of black votes, beggars for black humanity, bargainers for everybody except black people. The social changes the black church participated in urban areas were for the most part changes dealing with a short range of problems, getting people hired, getting people on relief, etc. But never any long-range problems designed to bring about any fundamental social change, girl. Anyway, I gotta go. Take care of each other, protect your energy. Peace.